long ago, when the Allianz Stadium felt like a mausoleum of wasted potential, Juventus, the Vecchia Signora, had become a prisoner of her own tactical rigidity. The football was methodical to the point of paralysis. Sideways passes accumulating like sediment, possession statistics that told lies, and an attack that moved with the predictability of a metronome. Opponents learned quickly. Sit deep, maintain shape, and watch Juventus pass themselves into oblivion. The heat maps from that era paint a damning picture. A dense cluster of touches in harmless areas, a void where creativity should thrive, and strikers starved of service, isolated in pockets of defensive attention. It was football by committee, sanitized of risk and consequently of reward. The system had become a cage. Defenders didn't need to think. They simply maintained their zones, knowing that Juventus would eventually recycle possession back to the halfway line. The verticality that once defined Italian attacking football had been sacrificed at the altar of control. Then came Kenan Yildiz. Hashtag the Biomechanics of Deception. At first glance, Yildiz doesn't fit the prototype of a modern winger. He isn't built for pure speed in the manner of a Kylian Mbappe, nor does he possess the brute physicality that dominates contemporary football. What he has is something far more disarming. Unpredictability weaponized through technical mastery. Watch him receive the ball in a congested midfield. His first touch isn't merely a reception, it's a threat. The ball seems to stick to his boot with magnetic defiance, while his body performs a symphony of misdirection. A drop of the shoulder here, a slight hip rotation there, and suddenly defenders are committed to shadows. His low center of gravity, approximately 5 feet 11 inches with a compact, powerful build, allows him to shift weight with the fluidity of a martial artist. But it's the ankle flexibility that truly separates him from his peers. Traditional wingers manipulate the ball through large, readable movements. Yildiz operates on a micro level, adjusting the ball's trajectory through imperceptible flicks and rolls that seem to violate the physics of close control. He can accelerate in tight spaces not because he's faster than his marker, but because he's already moving while they're still processing his deception. The data tells part of the story. His progressive carries per 90 minutes rank among the elite in Serie A, but numbers fail to capture the manner of these actions. Each dribble is an act of improvisation, a solution to a problem he created for himself, then solved in real time. Hashtag breaking the defensive block. This is where Yildiz becomes transformative. Modern defensive systems are built on zonal discipline. The idea that if every player maintains their position and covers their zone, the attack will eventually run out of space. Yildiz breaks this logic simply by refusing to acknowledge it. When he receives possession between the lines, something remarkable happens. Defenders abandon their zones. The first marker commits, drawn out by the threat of his vertical dribbling. Then the second. Suddenly, a structured defensive block becomes a collection of individuals chasing phantoms. This gravitational pull creates space that didn't exist moments before. Corridors for overlapping fullbacks, pockets for strikers to exploit, and passing lanes that open like fault lines under pressure. The transition from middle third to final third has become Juventus' most dangerous phase, precisely because Yildiz treats it as a continuous action rather than a structured progression. He doesn't wait for support. He attracts it. His fluid movement bridges a tactical gap that previously saw attacks stall at the edge of the penalty area. Consider the matches where Juventus faced low blocks that would have previously suffocated them. Yildiz doesn't look for the obvious pass. He drives into the heart of the defense, forcing impossible decisions. Foul him and concede a dangerous free kick, commit numbers and leave space elsewhere, or maintain shape and watch him shoot. Whatever the choice, the defense loses its collective identity. Hashtag synergy and tactical evolution. Perhaps most importantly, Yildiz's presence has catalyzed those around him. Strikers who once starved for service now find themselves in positions of advantage. Not because the system delivers on the ball, but because Yildiz's unpredictability forces defenders to make impossible choices. When a center back must account for a winger who might cut inside, overlap, shoot from distance, or slip a through ball, they cannot maintain tight marking on the primary striker. The managerial approach has evolved in response. Where previous tactical setups demanded rigid positioning and predefined movements, Yildiz has been granted something increasingly rare in modern football: freedom. He is not a winger, nor a number 10, nor a false 9. He is an anomaly, drifting across the front line to find spaces that exist only in the moment. This freedom has created a psychological shift within the squad. Players who once played with the hesitation of those fearing mistakes now attack with the confidence of those who know that creativity is not just permitted, but expected. In high-pressure transitions, when matches hang in the balance, Yildiz's composure becomes contagious. He doesn't panic when pressed, he invites it, turning defensive pressure into attacking opportunity through pure technical arrogance. Hashtag the future of the modern number 10. At 19, Yildiz represents not just Juventus present, but a blueprint for the future of attacking football. His development trajectory suggests a player who will only become more influential as his decision-making matures to match his technical ability. Already, his output in terms of goal contributions rivals players with significantly more experience. Comparisons to legendary creators are inevitable, yet reductive. He possesses a close control of a young Francesco Totti, the improvisational genius of Roberto Baggio. Yet his speed of execution belongs to the modern game. He is neither a traditional trequartista nor a modern inverted winger. He is something evolving, a hybrid born from the marriage of classical technique and contemporary athleticism. What Yildiz proves, above all, is that instinctive brilliance remains the most powerful force in football. In an era of tactical sophistication and data-driven optimization, he reminds us that the sport is fundamentally about solving problems in real time, under pressure, with defenders committed and time running out. His brand of creativity, unpredictable, uncoachable, undeniable, is the antidote to stagnation. Juventus was a dying giant, suffocated by its own rigidity. Through Kenan Yildiz, the Vecchia Signora has remembered how to breathe, not through systematic overhaul, but through the simple, devastating introduction of a player who cannot be predicted, cannot be contained, and cannot be stopped from making the impossible look inevitable. The revival is not complete. But for the first time in years, when Yildiz receives the ball with space to run, the stadium holds its breath, not from anxiety, but from the certainty that something extraordinary is about to happen.